At this point, you have a working project. You can press Command R to run it, flick through the images in the table, then tap 1 to view it. But before this project is complete, there are several other small changes we're going to make that makes the end result a little bit more polished. First, you might want to change the way images are being shown. You can see right now they're being scaled down so they fit inside the available space, leaving large white space above and below the image. This is actually customizable from the UI image views. If you go over to main.storyboard and select the image, you can open up the Attributes Inspector and change content mode from aspect fit to something else. There are a few options here, and you can choose everyone which works for you best. Aspect fit, the option I have right now, sizes the image so it's all visible. There's also aspect fill, which sizes the image so there's no space left blank, which usually means cropping either the width or the height. There's also scale to fill, which stretches it in both dimensions to fill all available space, even if it means warping the aspect ratio. Let's try out aspect fill. And I'll press Command R again to build and run the code with that small change in place. And now when I choose a picture, you'll see it fills all available space. Looks much more dramatic. Choose whichever one you prefer. The second change to make is to allow users to view the images full screen with no navigation bar getting in their way. There's a really easy way to make this happen, and it's a property on UI Navigation Controller called hidesBarsOnTap. When this is set to true, the user can tap anywhere on the current view controller to hide the navigation bar, then tap again to show it. Be warned though, you do need to set it carefully when working with iPhones. If we had it set on all the time, it would affect taps in our table view, which would cause havoc when the user tried to select things. So we're going to enable it when we show the detail view controller, then disable it as we hide it. You already met the method viewDidLoad, which is called when the view controller's layout has been loaded. There are several others that get called when the view is about to be shown, when it has been shown, when it's about to go away, and when it has gone away. These are called, respectively, view will appear, view did appear, view will disappear, and view did disappear. We're going to use view will appear and view will disappear to modify the hidesBarsOnTap property so it's true only when the detail view controller is showing. So, in Xcode, I'll open up detail view controller.swift, then add view will appear. Inside there I'll say first super.viewWillAppear, passing in the same animated parameter we were given, and then write navigation controller question mark dot hidesBarsOnTap equals true. Then below that I'll add view will disappear. Again, super.view will disappear, animated, then navigation controller question mark dot hidesBarsOnTap equals false. Again, we're using override here because these methods exist on UI View Controller and we're asking Swift to use ours instead. Don't worry if you're not sure yet when to use override and when not, because if you don't use it and it's required, Xcode will tell you. Again, we're using the navigation controller property with optional chaining in case somehow we aren't inside a navigation controller. We should be always here, but just in case, there's no harm using it. If you're on the app now, while you're viewing a picture, you can tap on it to hide that bar at the top. See a little bit more information. There we go. The third change is a small but important one. If you look at other apps that use table views and navigation controllers, you'll notice along the right here these little grey arrows. This is called a disclosure indicator, and it's a subtle user interface hint that tapping this row will show more information. It only takes a few clicks in Interface Builder to get this disclosure arrow in our table view. So head back to Xcode and choose main.storyboard again. Open up the view controller scene, and view controller and a table view, and find the picture cell. And you'll see on the right here it says accessory none. Please change that to be disclosure indicator to get the little grey arrow appearing. The fourth change is small but important. We're going to place some text in the grey bar at the top. You've already seen that view controllers have storyboard and navigation controller properties that we get from UI view controller. Well, they also have a title property that automatically gets read by navigation controllers. If you provide this title, it'll be displayed in the grey navigation bar at the top. So, in viewcontroller.swift, in view.load, here, we're going to say title equals Storm Viewer. This title is also automatically used for the back button, so users know what they're going back to. In Detailed View Controller, we'll add another title. Again, in view.load, we'll say title equals View Picture. And again, that's what will get used in the navigation bar. And that would work fine. But instead, we're going to use some dynamic text. We're going to display the name of the selected picture instead. We're going to say title equals selected image. Now we don't need to unwrap selected image here because both selected image and title are optional strings. We're assigning one optional string to another. Title's optional because it's nil by default. View controllers have no title, thus showing no text in the navigation bar. We're going to make one more change. One of Apple's key UI features is large text in navigation bars. If I go back to the simulator again and open up settings, you'll see a large title here. As you go into something like general, you get a small title. As you scroll around here, you'll see it becomes small and big depending where you're scrolling. The default behavior in iOS is to have small titles like you saw for general. But with a couple of lines of code, we can adopt the big title design. First, in viewcontroller.swift, in view.load, we'll write this. Navigation controller, dot navigation bar, that's the grey bar at the top, dot prefers large titles equals true. Let's hide this pane in the right to make more space. There we go. Navigation controller, navigation bar, prefers large titles equals true. And that enables large titles across our app. If I press Command R now, you'll see an immediate difference. Boom, Storm Viewer's nice and big. When I navigate into a picture, it'll say NSSL0045.jpg, again, nice and big. You'll notice if you pull down the table view, the Storm Viewer title stretches ever so slightly, showing the little bounce effect going on. Apple recommends you use large titles only when it makes sense, and that usually means only on the first screens of your app. As you've seen, the default behavior when enabled is to have large titles everywhere, but that's because each new view controller that's pushed onto the navigation controller stack inherits the style of its predecessor. In this app, we want Storm Viewer to be nice and big, but the detailed view screens to look normal. To make that happen, we have to add another line of code to view.load inside detailviewcontroller.swift. Open that now, and below the title, I'll say navigation item dot large title display mode equals never. And this thing is our configuration for a navigation bar on this screen. It won't affect the other screens. It's the screen configuration just for this one place. And we're saying for this one screen, for large titles, we want to never use them. Doesn't matter what the previous screen used, this thing should never use large titles. So I'll press Command R to build and run again. And this time we should see a nice big title initially, saying Storm Viewer, and then small titles afterwards. A lovely navigation effect. All done for us by UI Navigation Controller.